the exact reason that you keep pushing, that you keep trying, is why you are the way you are. And
Have you
your
always
goal
been
is
like this?
always gonna be in the skies.
100%. Have you always
Because
been like
maybe
this?
that way you'll reach the
With a lot
mountains.
of
Yeah.
drive and hunger? Okay.
I've tried to be. I've tried to be. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say some deep sentences in a few words. So I've always been an emotional kind of guy, someone who would overthink a lot, someone who is introverted but has acquired extrovert skills. And I think Anas has seen that phase of me in school, where he's like, "Oh, this guy is somewhat active, but he's shy, not really speaking too much."
Correct, and you talked about it in the last episode as well. I think that was a phenomenal insight into your life, and you see, like our life, our experiences, it's what really shapes us. And I just want to take a step back because Parmeet really talked about a very interesting thing, and I want to ask both of you. It's about goals, right? Parmeet asks you, like what pushes you, where does this drive and hunger come from? I have a very interesting take on this. Recently, I've been reading a book called The Science of Getting Rich, and I've been listening to this Canadian author called Bob Proctor, and the guy is all about energy. The guy is all about manifesting. The guy is all about visualizing, yet executing, yet measuring your goals as well. He talks about three things: A type goals, B type goals, and C type goals. A type goals are things which we're very familiar with, something we can easily do, like, okay, I'll go and make a sandwich or I'll lose 1 kg. B type goals are a little bit challenging given a certain time frame, like, okay, I'll make, let's say, I'll make 40 kilometers in cycling, or I lose about 5 kg in a day or a week, or like very unrealistic. C type goals are something completely whack, completely, like, if you tell someone and you'll be like, what is he talking about? For Parmeet and I, that's with Wiser, like, trying to build a community, like one of the largest. Yeah, that's a C type goal.
And it's
So
becoming a B type, guys. So congratulations.
for sure, for sure, yes. So when you have that C type goal, what you're trying to do is you are putting yourself in that box. You're trying to put yourself in that trajectory. Now, of course, as life happens, you might be, like bouncing around the box. By that, what I mean is that sometimes you might not meet your target, sometimes you might not meet your subset goals, etc., etc. You're a little bit off, you're a little bit there. However, you're in the same box, and just having that vision in mind. And I've seen Permeet, especially Permeet, whenever because I'm more familiar with Permeet, and I can speak from my own experience. Whenever he sets his eye on a C type goal, it's just he's just locked in, he's just focused in, and whatever he does around that, whether it be physical, spiritual, in terms of his relationship, everything aligns, and it has to align. Otherwise, you really won't be in that same trajectory. So I feel like this is one thing that Bob Proctor really helped me understand, because once you start thinking about that whack goal, once you start thinking about that goal that, like Parmeet was telling you before we started the podcast, that, like people will be like, damn, what is he talking about? What is he on? I want to have the same stuff. He's completely out of his mind. That's when, like, you set yourself on a trajectory for something great. And the things that we do, he calls this as a subconscious competent. You'll sometimes you'll meet people, they're so good at their job, they're amazing, and they're high producers, and they won't even know that they are. And if you ask them, like we ask you, like I was watching the last episode, we kept complimenting you, we kept talking about you, and you're like, eh, this is just all in a day's worth of work. Yeah, because you're a high producer, and this is what Bob, if Bob Proctor, may he rest in peace, he passed away, but if he were talking to you, he'd be like, you're a subconscious competent. You are a high producer, you are on that tangent, but you don't know. Same thing with Parmeet, same thing with me, if we were to put ourselves in that category. So it's yeah, when Parmeet was talking about it, this really came to my mind. I've been listening to him, and I was like, this really really makes sense. We might not be aware of our type C goals, like actually we might not have written it down. At the same time, we have written it down, but just not thinking that's a type C goal. So that's just a food for thought for you guys. And I want to ask both of you, like I know Parmeet and we have our type C goal with Wiser, of course, that's there. But apart from that, apart from Wiser, Parmeet, what is your other type C goal? If you guys have Umar, what is your type C goal? Just like to know about it.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna let Bernie go first. uh, so I'll be honest. I think the Type C goal is to be able to do this 20 years later as well, and be be better about it. Like I recently got to 15 pull-ups in a row, and I'm at a point where it's becoming endurance. So I started putting on a weighted vest. I started from 10 kgs when and now I've gone up to 20 kgs. So to me, I'm just scratching the surface. I can't even do a muscle up yet. So what am I doing? So if I'm if I keep pushing and I'm pushing, and 20 years down the line, if I'm still doing this and doing better, inshallah, I'm winning. And apart from that, a lot of people are gonna answer you, hey, financial, oh, house, cars. I think money comes and goes. You strive for excellence, you run after excellence, the money will come. It's also gonna go, don't worry. But focus on yourself and things will fall in place. People will fall in place. A lot of us and a lot of high achievers, one thing that you'll see in the short term, you'll see them achieve insane things and do such outrageous results. But if they're not good with people, if they don't keep the respect, the dignity, the caring of others, long term you'll see them stagnate. And yeah, I don't know. It's like I am confident that if I keep working on these things step by step
100%.
daily, I'll be okay, inshallah. Yeah, not a problem. And like yeah, just to add one thing, like since I've not been able to work out as much in Ramadan, I've actually started doing more research work. Just get more citations, because I'm lucky enough to be working in AI, and it's a booming field. There's a lot of experiments. They feel easy to me, and I'm started collaborating with people and just get that done in Ramadan. If I have to, then yeah, I'll get back to the extreme things later on.
Is there any specific milestones that you have?
Have a family, being able to take care of my family, and if my parents are happy and they're well taken care of, my siblings are happy, they're well taken care of, I'm happy.
That's amazing, man. We don't get to hear this a lot, and people just like, oh, I want to make this amount of money. I want to do this, and this is mostly just coming from them hearing other people do those things, and they're like, no, I want that as well. It's not really coming from within. So, thank you for being honest, man. It's
Yeah, and I will say, like, I think one of the hearings from an Islamic perspective is, well, you will commonly see this. We are musafirs. We are travelers in this world. You only pack what you need. You don't take the entire shop with you, and you try to make the journey easier for others while you're on this path, and that's okay. If I get a Lamborghini, if I get a Porsche in the way, awesome. If I own Microsoft in the way, awesome. But that's not the goal.
it's not must have. It's good to have. If it comes, it comes, right?
Yeah, and what will it matter? You'll go away one day. So make the people around you happy, and maybe you've done something.